some of the most intimate moments of the day. How do you pick the right one for you? Today we have Samantha and Matt from Samantha Laffoon Photography. They are a husband-wife team specializing in natural light photography. They began their business in 2012 after moving to Charlotte. They strive to connect with their couples to build trust, which allows for the most real emotion and intimate moments. And they are going to provide us with all kinds of amazing tips today on how to pick your photographer. We're so excited to have you guys here.
Thanks so much for having us.
Of course. So the first thing I want to know is how to pick someone who's going to help you, who's going to match to your style. Because I think a lot of brides, they don't really know what their style is. So when you're looking at different photographers, like how do you even decide, like, of all these options out there, who are going to be the top ones that I should meet with? Because if you tried to meet with everyone, that'd be a full-time job.
Right. Exactly. It'd be really overwhelming. There are so many out there. So I would say probably first, if you're working with a planner, always ask your planner for recommendations. Or your venue, they'll have great recommendations as well.
Yeah, I think when you're going to go into it though, even with planners and other vendors, they're going to have, they're going to give you a variety, right? And at the end of the day, style, you mentioned style, that's such an important thing. So in knowing what styles even exist is important. So like researching that a little bit, and really you can call it what you want. You can call it natural light or moody and all the different things, but looking at the different photographers that are out there and just looking at, you know, the different examples, you can start picking up patterns, right? And so those patterns are the styles. And so when you get an idea of what styles, you'll start realizing, oh, I like this better than I like that.
So you don't have to have an exact name for it, but kind of get an idea of what styles you're thinking. And Okay, cool. So then you've decided on your style and you've reached out to a couple of your favorite people. And now they've sent you packages and they're all different. So like what do you guys think is a good thing to look for in packages? How do you know what you need?
I would say that you should definitely have an engagement session. I think that is really important to have that, to connect with your photographer, create that relationship and that trust, because that's going to create really real moments and just capture those intimate moments. So I think that's important to have. I think at least, I think 8 hours of coverage is good. Just checking to see what your day looks like. Maybe you need less or more, but just having a good base of coverage.
Yeah, a lot of the packages are built based on like the lowest one having, less coverage and less options. And as you add more, you get more coverage, you get maybe, so one thing you might see is, for some photographers, you'll see one photographer, and then as you add packages, you get a second shooter. So, don't make assumptions that you're going to always get two, or don't make assumptions that you get an engagement session. So those packages are going to spell out exactly what you get, and then as you go up for tiers, you start adding on maybe printed material too, right?
Albums and prints and frames and things like that. So having those kind of things in packages, I think, is important too.
What about people who they want to have a great photographer and they're just not sure, okay, I don't know if I need one or two photographers, or maybe I'm not sure if I want to add an album. Like, how do they decide? Like, when do you think is it important to have one versus two photogrophers? I know you guys always, always shoot it too, which is great. But how would you advise someone to pick on that?
Sure. Personally, I think two photographers is always the best way to go, because no moments will be missed, and you can kind of divide and conquer and be in different parts of the day at the same time. I think if it's a small wedding, maybe an elopement or something really intimate and small, I think one photographer works perfect for that. Otherwise, I think you should always at least have two, just to capture all of those moments.
Especially before the wedding, like when you think about what the day looks like, and if you just envision it, are there two different events happening at the same time? And if the answer is yes, and you want photos of both of those, then you need to second.
That's a great. I think that's a great rule of thumb.
Simply put, like, especially when you have a groom getting ready in one location and a bride getting ready in another location, and maybe the groom has groomsmen gifts, maybe the groom has, special styling, like is really into what he's wearing, and you want all those moments of getting ready, or you're going to need a second photographer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in 2 locations like you mentioned.
Yeah,
It's going to be
definitely.
impossible for one photographer
Absolutely.
to go back and forth between the 2.
Yes, and I was going to say too, if you're really into your details, like your bridal details or the groom's details, looking for a photographer that captures those versus not.
a great point.
So I think having that is important too.
So how would you know that? Like, how would you find out?
I would suggest looking at their blog, look at their Instagram, and if you are reaching out online, ask for a full gallery. Ask to see a whole gallery so you can see kind of what the entire day looks like.
I think
That's
a great
really
tip.
important.
A really good tip because you can really see what your full day.
Yeah.
Just like picture yourself in those moments.
Exactly.
I think that's a great kind of segue to asking, what are those top questions that you want to make sure you ask so you know that you're hiring the right person?
Yes. I think definitely, like I said, seeing a full gallery is super important. Having to see all the moments that are captured and what they do and what both photographers are doing the entire day. I think that's important to see.
Yeah, I mean, the portfolio is going to show, kind of a cohesive feel.
Right.
A lot of times you'll see a lot of portraits, you'll see a lot of, of the bridal party, things like that, but how do they capture the family? How do they capture dancing? How do they capture details, getting ready, those things? Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
those are super important, especially those family moments.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
It's not something that people get super excited about, but those are the pictures that like are going to be cherished for a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also think asking if they have backup equipment, I think is important to know too, because stuff happens.
Yeah.
So just knowing what do you have, what kind of equipment do you carry with you on a wedding day, I think is important to know as well.
Yeah, kind of like how do you protect the images?
Yeah.
And what answer you're looking for there is you're looking for like the images will exist in 2 places at all times. And what that means is cameras today can write to 2 cards at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And so if it writes to 2 cards, then you have less chance of it getting corrupted.
Right.
And then when you bring that home and you put it onto your computer, do you back it up to the cloud? Do you have some other kind of storage? How are you making sure that there's never one single point of failure? That you lose that, you lose the images, make sure that answer is never no.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely.
That's a horrible situation
Oh,
to
absolutely.
imagine.
Yeah.
So backup
Absolutely.
equipment. I think
Definitely.
that's a really, really important question.
And I think also just asking questions to the photographer, getting to know them, what's their background, what makes them excited about weddings, just getting to know that to see if there's that good connection between yourself and your photographer.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because they are really with you all day long.
Right.
And so you want to
Exactly.
make sure that you pick the right one.
Yeah, definitely.
So that leads me to my next point. So now you've had these consultations, you've met with them.
Yeah.
How do you pick the right ones? So like, what are some things during that first initial consultation or even like right after you leave the meeting, what are things that you should be thinking about and looking for so you can narrow it down to the one you need?
Definitely. So I definitely think that you should maybe only meet with 3 or 4 photographers. I think you should keep it small so you're not overwhelmed because there's a lot of options out there. I think if which images speak to you, like which photographer's images are very emotive and really speak to you, and that should be one thing you should ask yourself. And then also, just having a conversation with the photographer and just getting to know them and their story and just seeing if there's a connection there. I think that's something that's really important to reflect on after you meet. Did you connect with them? Is this somebody, like you said, want to spend your whole day with you?
Right.
Because they're with you all day. So you want to make sure it's a good relationship.
Yes, for sure. Perfect. So you said definitely personality is a big fit.
Yes.
So obviously you guys are a husband and wife team. Tell us what you think the benefits of that are for our couples who might be interested in that.
For sure.
Dynamic.
We really love it. We work really well together.
We work well together. We have a team mentality that is more than just our behind the camera. It's our day-to-day life, right? But then even beyond that, it's like personally, as having been a groom, I'm biased to the groom, and so even to what you're thinking about when you leave a consultation, as well as to the point of what is different about a husband-wife team. To both of those points is how is the groom invested in? Was the groom invested in during that consultation? If he was at the consultation, because it's the groom's day too, and as a husband-wife team, I can say that I personally like to connect with the groom, get to know them, so that I'm a friend showing up at their wedding day. I'm getting to see their pre-wedding, event. I've seen everything. I've seen, everything from a fantastic toast moment to a video game tournament to, whatever else, right? And so from a husband-wife perspective, on the husband side, that's my thing. I think that it's great just having that, that chance to have two primary photographers is the way I put it.
Yeah,
right.
It's not a secondary photographer. It's a primary that focuses mainly on the groom, and then a primary that primarily focuses on the bride.
Yeah. So I love that we can offer that, and also we can like snuggle and show poses too. Which is really fun.
Extra fun.
We can demonstrate.
We can demonstrate.
I love that. No, I think that's a great point too. Especially, I feel like a lot of guys don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, girls too, but the guys really can feel really uncomfortable. So having someone who can demonstrate poses or make them feel really comfortable and just like he's one of the guys can be a really big benefit for sure.
Definitely.
All right, well that is super helpful. Before we close out and you guys give us kind of those, I always like to ask like, what are those like next steps? So I'm looking for a photographer. Yes. What do you suggest first couple things that a bride or groom should do?
Yes. So like I said, research, find ones that are really connecting, that you can connect with.
Yeah.
Their images, read their about section. Do you connect with them personally? Is this somebody that you want to meet with and talk with? And if the answer is yes, definitely reach out to them, fill out their contact form, and set up that meeting. And then once you've met with, 3 or 4 photographers, right after, think about the emotional connection, their images. Is this someone that you want with you all day? And if you have picked them, then I definitely say reach out within a week. I say much longer than that. I think the connection kind of fades a little.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so, you mentioned the 3 to 4 photographers. I'd say make sure you meet with all of them. Like whoever you pick as your top 3, go ahead and meet with all of them, because you'll come out of one and you're going to get a connection with one, or maybe you don't, whatever it might be. But go ahead and try to have those meetings, within a week or so if possible.
Yeah.
Meet with all of them, and then fairly quickly go ahead and make a decision, because the connection that you have is so huge, and you'll forget that connection as time passes. And then it'll just become numbers, and then you'll feel like you're right back where you started, where you're just looking at portfolio's and you don't really know what you're comparing.
Yeah. I think that's a great tip, and also making sure to meet with a couple options. Because after that first meeting, you might feel really great, but there might be someone that you would have connected with even more.
Yeah,
so I think
exactly.
That's a really good
and
tip.
I also want to say too, to make sure to let the other photographers know that you're going a different direction.
Yes.
I think that's always a good thing to do.
That's a really kind thing to do.
Yes.
Let people know when you say no. I know it's hard, but it is nice to know on the other side.
Right.
Either way, it's nice to know. Perfect. Well, before we close out, please let our listeners know how they can find you. Website, Instagram.
Yes. You can reach us at SamanthaLaffoon.com.
Spell your last name.
It's Samantha, and then LAFFOON.com. And Instagram is Instagram/Samantha Laffoon.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.